So hello everyone. It is me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan. We don't know actually who he is
We
because
are.
I always remove the names when I'm doing other stuff. But anyway, that is Donovan, the recovering Democrat, and this is the Demetra K Show. Actually, it's going to be the podcast as well. The Demetra K Show, we focus on Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great, but we can always do better. And so today we are going to be talking about Black women. Well, because I'm a Black woman.
Yeah, let's talk about them, damn
We're
it.
going to talk about Black women. And listen, Black women, we might have to start dating married men. And I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. But Donovan, what say you?
Hey, you guys, thank you guys. Do us a favor. Please like, share, subscribe, and share on your platform. And then that way other people could see the message and see what we're talking about and kind of get that out there going. Today is February 22nd, 2022. Today, Russia has invaded the Ukraine. A lot of people here are getting upset. I think it's a distraction to keep the topic off of Black topics because the Democrats are desperate. But remember this, they're saying, oh my God, how can Russia use this pretense of peacekeepers and all this other stuff? It's not real. It's an invasion. It's an invasion. Okay. But isn't it funny how the American psyche is so short? Didn't we go into a country on the pretense of weapons of mass destruction? And 20 years later, we ended up getting our asses kicked in another country that we invaded. And we're out of there, and all the lives, treasure, and money that could have been spent in this country has not been spent. So please, you guys that are out there, please do not be hypocritical. And Black folks, please do not fall for the okie doke. It is a distraction to keep us off of Black topics by saying this is more important right now. No, it isn't. You know what? Let them have it.
All right, now, so of course we'll get into the discussion about the Ukraine later on as things transpire. Ukraine and Russia, of course, Putin is doing what Putin does, and Donovan just explained all that. So anyway, back to what I was saying about Black women. You might have to start dating married men. So earlier today, my daughter sent me this thing called the Female Delusion Calculator, and I'll put this up here for you.
I love it.
So this is called the Female Delusion Calculator. And what it is as women, we enter in certain things that we are looking for from men. Like what would be our ideal man, right? And this particular calculator gets its data from the U.S. Census and the National Center for Health Statistics. And so it's some real numbers and data, from where they got it from anyway.
Real quick, can we actually download that from the app or Apple Store, or is that something online?
No, it's online. And so
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
The website is actually, let me see, give it to you. IGotStandardsBro.com. So that's IGOTSTANDARDSBRO.com. I got Standards Bro. Okay.
This is going to be interesting.
Right. So that's the name of the website. Okay. Again, it's the Female Delusion Calculator. So again, you as a woman would put in your ideal man. And so I already put in the numbers, and we're going to play with this a little bit to see what we can do, right?
Those are your actual numbers. You aren't playing, but go ahead.
No. So no, seriously, like, if I was looking for said man, would be my ideal man, right? So it says, what are the chances to find the man of my dreams? Okay. Again, this is live searches using surveys conducted by the U.S. Census Bureau and NCHS. All right. So age-wise, I said I would like for my man to be between the ages of 41 and 61. Now, I'm 51. So
wait. That's disgusting. You're not no damn 51. You're 21. That's disgusting.
Right. But let's just say, okay, so I figured,
hypothetically, you're 51. Go ahead.
Yes. So I figured, okay, 10 years younger and 10 years older. Well, actually, I'm 50. I put a little bit too much on it just right now, but I'll be 51 in a couple of months. So I said 10 years younger and 10 years older. I think that's okay, right? Cool. Now, as you can also see here in this box, it says exclude married men, because I don't want to be with nobody else's man, okay?
Even
Now,
though most women are, but go ahead.
I want my man to be black. Okay. Want him to be black, as you can see here, race. And I said, okay, be realistic, Demetra. And I said, okay, I would like him to be 5'7", because if I put it on a 3-inch heel, at least we're the same height. Okay. So I put 5'7". And if you can see here, it says, I do not want him to be obese. So it says exclude obese. Cool. Now, let's mosey on down to minimum income. So now all these things here are minimums, by the way. So let's go down to minimum income. And I said any, okay? Just say any. And so it says find out. Bam. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's doing the calculations and stuff. Okay, so as you can see, I said, I don't want him to be married. I think I said I didn't want, no, I didn't say I didn't want it. Okay, you know what? Hold on. I messed up. Hold on a second. Let me start this over. So I need to exclude married men. I don't want to be with anybody's man. Okay, so let's go back. Find out. So I want him to not be married. I want him to be black. I want him to be at least 5'7". And I didn't exclude. I'm messing up, you guys. Hold on a second. I'm going to get it right. I promise. Okay, so I'm going to exclude him being obese. I got it all right now. Bam. It's doing the calculations. Y'all see how fast it came through before? Mm-hmm. All right. So he's not married. He needs to be black. He needs to be at least 5'7" and not obese. Okay. And any income. Now, the probability of me finding said man, according to statistical data, the probability of a guy in the U.S. male population ages 41 to 61 meets your standard is 2%. So it says that is 18.3% of all black men in that age range. All right. So my delusion score is 3 out of 5. And it says that I am an aspiring cat lady. So basically, I'm not going to find a man. It's going to be rare, right?
Yeah,
and so
it's going to be difficult. It's not impossible, but difficult.
Right. But 2% out of 18.3% of all black men in that age range from 41 to 61. So it's saying that my standards are too high, right? Okay, I'll take that. So let's start over, okay? We're going to play with some numbers here. Let's say I want to go 35. I'm really being a cougar. Ow. 35.
Marcus.
Right. 35, let's say to 65.
Damn.
I'm just saying, I got to
do a Social Security check. You ain't.
Okay, so right now we're still going to exclude married men because I ain't really want to mess around married men like that, okay? Right. He still needs to be black. I still want him to not be obese and 5'7" and any income. Let's see if things change for your girl. Okay, so the probability of me finding that man is a little better. Now it's 2.5%, and that is 21.8% of all black men in that age range. I'm still an aspiring cat lady. So basically, get saying out of 3 out of 5, I'm pretty, I guess, fairly delusional. All right. Fine. Let me start going some other places. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to leave it that age range. I'm gonna leave it black. I'm gonna go down to 5'4", which is what I am, 5'3", 5'4", roughly. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So basically, the minimum height is the guy that you want.
Yeah, it's the minimum height.
Okay, so now instead of going to he got to be at least 6 foot and above.
Correct.
You're being realistic and saying I'm going to lower it a little bit.
I'm 5'4", so let's say if he's at least my height with no heels on, no heels. Okay, I don't want no man wearing no heels.
Right.
All right. So let's say he can be obese to whatever that means, right? Because I can be considered obese, so I don't know. So let's say any income. We're gonna still leave it there. Let's see how am I gonna do? All right.
A lot better.
It improved. So now I have a 5.6% chance of finding a man, and that is 49. So almost 50% of all black men in that age range. So I went down from 35 to 65. So I'm a cougar or I'm going into the, to the retirement home.
Now
But it's
these are
still,
all single men. They're not married. These are
yeah, because I
single
still,
men.
right, still don't want to mess with nobody, man. So I'm still an
Mhm.
aspiring cat lady. Basically, I'm kind of still delusional. All right. Now we're gonna throw in the married men. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it everything the way it is, except for married men. We gonna see how I do. We got a little better. So almost 11%, and that is
But
90.
it almost doubled.
Yes, and that's almost 100% of all Black men in that age range. And then my delusion score drops. I'm down to earth now.
Yeah,
I'm just
you're getting there. You're getting there.
so basically, if I throw in married men,
You have
my
a better
chances of
opportunity.
not being single and down to earth, it's pretty good. Now let's do one more other thing. Let's say, I'm open to dating any race. Okay, so
Hell nah, but go ahead.
I'm leaving the age the way it is. Any color or shade,
Any
whatever
color
that
shade.
means.
Correct.
The height is the same. He can be obese.
Income.
Any
You could be a
income.
hobo. Yeah, go ahead.
Woo!
Yikes. Probability 96.1. So you mean that your thing almost with that 10 times?
Yes, it says, "Are you sure you're a woman?"
Wow.
Basically, it's wanting to know if it's some dude,
Right.
taking tests, trying to be funny. But so if I say I want any man, and he is at any race, he can be married, at least 5'4", any weight and any income, I'm doing okay. I could
Yeah.
find me a man.
You can find company.
So clearly you can see that you can go a whole lot of ways with this, but my chances improved when I dropped his height and I said he can be obese. And then I said he can be married, which is all hypothetical, y'all.
Yes.
He could be married. My chances got a little better. But when I said he could be any race with all those things, I could pretty much find a man just walking outside,
So basically, when you actually was realistic,
Is that what that is?
yeah, because I mean, there are all kinds of races out there. I mean, everything that okay, let's reverse it. Put a woman that says, okay, I want a man that's 6'2". The average man in the United States is 5'9". So
Right.
take that into consideration. I want a man to make six figures. That drops your statistics statistically. I mean, so reverse it, and you're basically saying a lot of women out there are delusional, but when they become and deal in reality, their odds go up.
Now, and I'm glad you said that, because this is not something that I know of, right? It's the internet. But from what they're saying, they got their data from a reputable place for the most part, the census and the National Center for Health Statistics. So it seems like those are pretty reasonable. Those are numbers people give. When you do the census, you tell them what you are and all of that. And so from what the pool is in America as far as men, and the man that I put in, he really doesn't exist. Because remember,
Yeah.
I did, I wanted him to not be married. I wanted him to be Black. I wanted him to at least be 5'7" and not obese and any income, right? And that was like 2%, and I was called an aspiring cat lady, right? And
Yeah.
so let's go the other way. Let's think like in your words, a woman who is super not
Delusional.
realistic.
Yeah, super delusional.
Delusional for so delusional, because this is the female delusion calculator. Lord have mercy. So let's say, using my age, I want him to be.
Let's start where a lot of these women have
Okay,
hit
I'll
the
let
wall.
you. From what you have said, you've heard. Give me the data.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the data. Most of the women, they get their education and all this other stuff. I got to specifically deal with Black women.
Okay.
So we're looking at a woman that is, the number would be 30.
Okay, so what is she looking? Who is she looking to date?
She's looking to date somebody between the ages of 35.
Okay.
51.
And 51. Okay. Now, what color does he need to be?
A lot of when you're hearing all these women, black women talk about they prefer black men. So let's put a black man down.
Okay, and can he be married or no?
No.
Okay, so he's not cannot be married.
You know, because a lot of black women are trying to get married and have families just before they hit the wall.
Now, minimum height.
6'2". You got to be at least 6 feet. I'll give 6 feet. Okay.
6 feet. Minimum income.
6 figures.
Which is
100,000.
Okay, 100,000.
6 figure. Just the low end of 6 figures. 100,000.
Okay,
even though the average black man makes about 40,000. But go ahead.
All right. So we're gonna see what's the chances of her actually finding a man in that age range.
Holy shit. 0.075.
Wow. Hold on a second. My daughter geniusly locked herself out. So let me go let her in. So you want to talk that up?
I'm going to take it from here. Have you guys noticed that in that number, those are some of the same numbers Kevin Samuels comes up with based on the data? Based on the data, 0.075. Does that mean that it's based in actuality? No, not necessarily. But the numbers don't lie, ladies. That's one thing in life that is always going to be a constant. You can have a bunch of history. History is written by the winners. History is written by those who can just change the story all they want. But one thing that is universal and the only thing that matters really when it comes to education is mathematics. And that doesn't change. It is factual. It doesn't lie. And these are some of the very numbers that Kevin Samuels actually uses. And you got to think about it. How many percentage of black men actually make 6 figures? Less than 5%, less than 2% of black men actually make within our group, make 6 figures. So this is pretty close.
Right. And so to your point, a very delusional black woman that wants a man not married, he has to be black, at least 6 feet tall, any weight, because we got well, then what happens if we say, well, we don't want him to be obese, right? We want a man with muscles.
Yeah. Wait. She says, delusional score. You don't belong on this planet.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. So this type of woman, per this calculator, is just out of this world in her thinking. Okay. So let's add that he needs to not be obese. Let's see what her chances look like even then.
Okay.
What down?
Yikes. You're talking, I mean, the last two inputs is less than 1%, and this is at 0.033%.
And as you can see on the little, graph here, he's nowhere to be found. Is he hiding somewhere?
And this is a form of statistics, which is, like I said, the probability chart is showing you it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist because it doesn't even equal up to 1.
Wow. Okay, so we spent quite a bit of time going through all of that. Okay, so we have
a problem.
We have a problem. If this is accurate, we have a problem. And again, this is igotstandardsbro.com if you want to go in there and play with the numbers and all of that. But we've got issues. But let me ask you this, Donovan.
Sure.
Is there really anything wrong with a black woman wanting a man who's 6 feet tall and he's making at least $100,000 a year and he's not obese and he's not married?
No. Okay. There's something that my high school coach used to tell me. He goes, how many of you guys got dreams? So what you're talking about is dreams, right?
Is it dreams or is it just?
Well, no, her preference for dreams or whatever. It's dreams until you write it down. When you write it down, then you work toward those goals to get that man.
Okay.
And that's what my coach used to tell me all the time. Whatever you dream of, it's just a dream until you write it down. Then when you write it down, it becomes a goal.
Okay. So if I write this man down, I want a 6 foot tall, so $100,000 a year, at least, not married, not obese, black man. I gotta put him on my vision board.
It's feasible, right?
Now, per the data, he doesn't really exist. So,
right, he doesn't exist. Technically, there's always a slim, like you women say, it's possible. It's possible, 100, like just like this, the number said, 0.0333. It's possible. But here's the thing about writing it down, and it becomes a goal. You got to work to attract that man. You got to work toward getting that man. So what are you doing, ladies, to attract that man? Are you out there getting a BBL? Not that you should. You know what I'm saying? Are you nice? Are you feminine? Are you know what I mean? You got to work toward the goal. So it is possible.
So where would we, if we do all of that as women, get ourselves together and we're sweet and we're nice and we're feminine and all of that? Yeah, we got a little shoulder shrug going on.
Sure.
Where can we go and find said man?
Well, most of you guys are going to college and getting these useless degrees. So why aren't you following your contemporaries and finding that husband in college?
Well, I mean, if there are more Black women in colleges than there are Black men, aren't we still going to run into the same issue?
No, because the specific man that you want is within that number in that college, correct? Statistically, according to the statistics.
Not really. If more Black women go to school than college than Black men.
But again, 0.033. All it takes is less than one.
But so
one Black man. So he's there somewhere.
But what if more than just I want that?
Then you got to compete.
So that's when you put in married men, the numbers, are almost 100%. Married men and any race of men, the numbers go up to 100% chance of finding that. Of course, you got to drop the money, but so
that's where reality hits the road. You got to be realistic. So if you're going to be closed-minded like me, Demetria, what do I always say? I never said I wouldn't date a white woman. I just never met one that I was attracted to that I would do so. I've always dated a Black sister because that is my preference.
So let me play devil's advocate here. Okay.
Which you always do.
Right. So per this calculator, this female delusion calculator, if I want to find a man, I've got to, and listen, my standards originally were not that high. I think they were pretty realistic, but so I have to drop my standards way low.
You got to throw a lot of things out the window.
Just to get a man. I don't want to say just to get a man, but really kind of just get a man, right? I got to drop them really low. But on the flip side, you men, when y'all want a woman, she got to be, what does Kevin Samuel say? Fit, feminine.
Feminine, fine.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And y'all want this woman to have this type of booty. Y'all want her to have this type of rack. And she got to have this kind of hair and this color skin and all this other stuff.
Got to be at least a Beyonce 8.
Yeah, so why we got to drop our standards and y'all ain't got to drop yours?
Because like Kevin Samuels says, we have options.
Like what?
I can get a white girl, I can get a Hispanic girl, I can do this.
But as you saw too, when I put any race of man, my options improved almost 100%.
Correct. But if you're Boomquisha, how many of these other races are actually going to pick you?
Okay, but we know there's a lot of dusted Negroes running around this planet. So everybody ain't running around here looking like El DeBarge and Idris Elba, boo.
Well, yeah, or Donovan Sadiq. I know that because in that thing, I hit every mark that you put in there, except that I'm not 6 feet.
You're close.
Yeah, I'm close, but I'm not 6 feet. And because I'm not 6 feet, do you know how many women will exclude me?
Okay, but is she going to bring a measuring stick and say, oh, you're 5'10"?
Maybe some do, or they look at me, because I don't ball out and show my wealth. They just exclude me, right? Just based on that. So
you're saying that this calculator, and I can't wait to hopefully somebody making one for a man. This calculator really doesn't apply to men.
I can't say that. It does apply to men. It does apply to men. But men don't need it because of the abundance of women that are out there. There is like you said, there are not that many black men out there in comparative to our counterparts. So the pickings are slim for a lot of women.
And remember when that lady said that it was a video that went viral and she was sitting in her car talking about some slim pickings out there?
Yeah, very slim pickings. Yeah, of the men that meet that standard.
Yeah, but kind of just not. I mean, she had a lot of truth in what she was saying. I wish I could find the video and play it for y'all. There was a lot of truth in what she was saying. She says, if I want a man, then he's probably gonna be somebody else's man, or he gonna cheat.
Yeah.
If he cute and light skinned or whatever, then he probably got a whole bunch of other women that he's entertaining, and this, that, and the other. So she said, per this calculator, that the pickings are slim if you are, and you as me, is looking for a man who is not married, so single when we get together. Hey, boo, single when we get together. He is at least 5'4". I said 5'7", so I say 5'7". And he's making any income, and he's not obese. And what else did I say? And he has to be black. So that didn't work out for me, and so I'm called delusional. But I'd have to continue to lower my standards and settle for something that is not appealing to me. But a man doesn't have to do that. A woman should come out the box looking, fresh and fly.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the reason why men don't have to do that is because, like, I live in California, the ratio is 7-1. You go to Atlanta, the ratio is 3-1. So there's an abundance of women. And how often is it that you see a man, a dusty, or whatever you guys call this, and he's a number one pick for a chick that have gone to college and has made types of money and stuff like that? Men we want peace. So what I'm saying is this: you could be a female, very attractive like yourself, Demetria, working at McDonald's, and I could be a very well-off man, and I see you as appealing to my eyes and stuff, because that's how men look at things. We don't care about your education. We don't care about your wealth. We don't care about that. We care about what we see. And then as we get to know you, what we hear. Fine, I can pick you up. I could be the same exact person working at McDonald's, not you, because that isn't your character, but other chicks. Oh, now you can't even deal with me. There's videos out there. I saw it yesterday where this guy was 5'4". They put these guys in a line and they clowned this dude because this guy couldn't have been no more than 5'2", 5'3". They're like, you know what it is. And they go on to the next guy. And it's like, that was the guy that was the millionaire.
Well, damn.
And they
they changed their mind.
No, once they passed him, that was it. But when they found out that he was the millionaire, all the other guys that looked the part, those were the dusties. But they immediately excluded him because of their preference for a certain height.
And so let me ask you this. As Black women, should we put polygamy on the table?
You're already doing it.
I'm talking about willingly.
Oh, well, they're doing it willingly. They know so-and-so's got community dick, and they're still going and having babies with them.
Okay, I'm talking about a woman like me. I ain't talking about them, right?
Well, no. And I'm going to say this because the woman is, if women started acting like men in a sort, like where, you're just out there doing your thing, the value of you being the center of the community, in my opinion, diminishes.
So basically, I shouldn't entertain being with a man and knowing he's got other women.
No, I not outright. Not outright.
Not shit. I don't want to be with a man, even if I don't know who's entertaining other women. Right. But
because real quick, because I don't understand these guys talk about, I'm going to the club and I'm in the VIP room with so and so, right? Dude, do you realize she's been in the VIP room with other people too?
And a champagne room.
Yeah, I mean, they're not the only one she's ever done that with. That's what she's doing.
Right. So, I mean, it's just this calculator, it's funny to me, but it's not funny because it's like, it really just kind of confirms, or like you said, a lot of people said, and I think really what a lot of women already know, but are still maybe kind of holding out hope that maybe I can find a unattached Black man that's making any, and I say any, I mean, enough to sustain himself at least 5'7", 7, and not obese, not again obese. That's kind of open to interpretation because
look at everything you're describing, and it's to your best buddy right next to you. You described everything like that.
Then why are you single?
Because y'all don't know how to act right. Y'all do not know how to act right. Put it like this. I'm a traditional man. A traditional man and a modern woman cannot coexist. That's just the bottom line. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I know that there's a lot of traditional women still out there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But a lot of those traditional women, and this is kind of, I guess, what we're kind of steer the conversation somewhere else, which we always do. Mm-hmm. A lot of traditional women will say, well, wow, I'm being traditional and playing my part. Am I perfect? No, but I just don't seem to be able to get it right. So...
Well, like I was telling you about my situation this weekend dealing with my friend and my little sister, after you yourself told her what she needed to do, I myself briefed her what she needed to do, and yet she did everything that we told her not to do, even though she was advised not to do. They just can't take instruction.
So you say that to say...
modern women,
but we talk about traditional women,
right? But that's what I'm saying. That's the difference. Modern women, they want to be traditional when it's convenient to be traditional, but then they want to be modern. You can't be both. It's one or the other. There's a lot of traditional women out there, right? In our age bracket, yes. But as a man, what am I dealing with a traditional woman in my age bracket? She's got kids. She's got grandkids. She's got a lot of baggage, whereas should I put up with that, or should I get somebody that doesn't have any of those things?
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let me write this down because my brain be let's see. Hold on. Okay. Is it really considered baggage if you are 59,000 years old, Donovan? Okay. Mm-hmm. Is it really considered baggage if a woman has grandkids?
No, not in the
Wouldn't she pretty much have grandkids at that age?
Yeah, of course. I'm expecting that. But again, if I had a choice between getting a Corvette and getting a Pinto, what do you think I'm going to pick? Do you know what I mean? Does a car value up when you leave the lot, or does it value down as it's being used?
So what if you get grandkids one day?
But I'm a man, and I don't know ladies going, oh, there's a trigger word. Oh, you ain't listening to nothing else I'm going to say after that. Here's the situation. Being a man, I can have kids up until I'm dead. You guys have a shelf life. And that's just the truth, ladies. I know you don't want to hear it. Men and women are not the same. We are not the same. We have.
But what if you or your kids end up having kids and now you're grandpapa?
Sure.
Should she say, oh, I don't want to talk to him because he's got grandkids?
Well, if that's her option, that's her option. But in a lot of cases, like in the case with me as a man, right? Let's say I have kids. I give my daughter, she's taking care of her business. My son is taking care of his business or whatever. You see what I'm saying? It is least likely that I'm going to have my family still living with me. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, it's least likely I'm going to have that. Whereas I might go to, your house and you have little Jimmy John, still 28 years old, and nothing wrong with it. I ain't saying there's anything wrong with it. He's sitting on the thing. He's working. He's going to college or whatever. He has no kids, but he's still at home because of the economics that we have today. No man wants to deal. It's like baby boy. I want to be able to cook you eggs, butt naked and bring it to you and do what we got to do. You know what I mean? And have fun and enjoy our time. That's the difference. It's less likely I'm going to have family members staying with me.
So let me ask you this too, because I hear a lot of men say they have a problem with a woman who has grandkids. Mm-hmm. Why?
Okay. I would see why they would have a problem, because a woman's nature is to nurture and also to help out and do those things. Because if you have a daughter, mama, could you watch the kids? I need a break and all this other stuff like that. Where men, real men, in my opinion, we're not necessarily going to do that. If my son came to me and said, hey, Dad, could you watch the kids? I'd be, hell no. Absolutely not. You know, because that's your responsibility. I mean, I'll do it if I want to do it, but you just don't come over here and do that. Whereas in a lot of situations, unfortunately, you know, mama's, I'm not saying a sucker, but that's you guys' nature. Everything's okay with you guys.
So are you saying that you don't mind if she has grandkids, but you do mind if they're always okay, let's say this. So they're not her kids, although they're her grandkids. So
grandkids take up a lot of free time that the woman might, you know, if she's still working like yourself, you know, not that you work, but you know what I mean? You're doing stuff.
And I don't have any grandkids.
Right. Hey, I want to go to the Bahamas. Oh, I'd like to go with you, but I got to help my baby do, you know what I mean? They take up a lot of time.
So it's almost like, okay, so now you've taken on another set of responsibility, right, and you won't have time for me. If it was your kids, I understand that. And young kids. But if it's grandkids, it's like, no, well, you've taken on that responsibility for whatever reason. Whatever reason. And you're not going to have time.
My grandbabies be in the street. I can't, you know what? I understand that. I get that. That's a valid, you know, that's valid. I understand that. But a lot of guys at our age, I mean, we're on borrowed time right now. I got maybe a good 20 years left. You know what I mean? And women don't understand that. Men, we think totally different. There is no way my daughter is going to be coming up in my house, ending up pregnant again and again and again under my tutelage. But we see all the time where, you know, the daughter and the mom are living together, and it's almost like the mom enables the daughter to kind of be in the same situation that she was in and like stuck. And they're raising this family of codependent people. I don't want to say anything mean. Codependent people on each other, rather than saying, no, you can't stay with me. You need to go out there and get, you know, make it happen, Captain.
Right. So let me ask you this, back to what I wrote down. Is it possible that a traditional woman can, in a way, be forced to become modern? Now, when I say that, a traditional woman who's more or less like, okay, I'm, you know, 10 toes down for my man, I don't ever want for nothing, but it just ain't working out for whatever reason, right? So I'm going to go on and become more of a modern, kind of like have a hot girl summer. It's all about me, boo-boo. You know, I'm not going to be attached to no man specifically. It's going to be about me and my career and me going on vacations with my girlfriends type of thing. So you think that that type of traditional woman can eventually be forced by circumstances to become modern?
Do you think what forced? They're buying into it right now.
Well, I'm saying if she was traditional in every sense of the word.
No, I agree. I know what you're saying. A lot of them are. And what did they teach their daughters? Our parents taught their daughters, and the daughters taught the grandkids. You don't need no man, girl, whatever, but yet they're married. You got a lot of traditional women that have bought into the modern BS and has wreaked havoc within the Black community.
Now, I'm not talking, because see, I'm talking about a true sense of a traditional woman. I'm not talking about one who straddles the fence or who says she's traditional, but she's actually modern, because I think a lot of times too, a lot of men, they get it confused with, and now let's just take it on social media, right? Let's say you get into a little back and forth with a man. Oh, you're a modern woman. It's like, why am I a modern woman? Oh, because you just keep arguing like first of is, okay? I'm not your woman.
Right.
And so a lot of men get it confused that a modern woman or a traditional woman is not supposed to have an opinion, say anything at all. She's supposed to just be closed mouth to everything. And the minute she voices herself, then almost, oh, you a modern woman.
Oh, no.
She won't allow you to, you know, put your thumb on her and browbeat her.
Right. Yeah. No. Any man in the modern age that has that thing of a traditional woman can balance modern concepts, because time does move on and technology does move on, and you know, the culture moves on. So if anybody, male or female, can't adapt to the changing of the culture, you're going to be left behind. Thus, we have our parents that don't know how to use goddamn computers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where like our generation, we kind of bridge that where we were taught to build the computer and also do some of the interface. Now you got the kids, they could do the interface, but they don't know how to build the computer. So yes, a traditional woman can do that. The problem is, depending on what type of dude she's dealing with, because the dude that you just described sounded like a simp. That's the guy that don't know how to deal with that modern woman or that traditional woman.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of men who are passing themselves off as alphas and that are really beta simps.
Right.
It's a lot of them who are, oh, well, I need me a traditional woman, and she need to do this, she need to this. Like, you wouldn't even know what to do with a traditional woman, and a lot of men don't.
Yeah, you can find, and I've seen it. I've seen some young women that are in their 20s that have been raised traditional, and they are chugging along in the modern world and doing it well. And guess what? This traditional man that wants a traditional woman can't freaking handle it.
Exactly.
He can't handle it.
And that's the thing. They say they want a traditional woman until they actually get one.
Mm-hmm.
But so I think a lot of these men are being
delusional.
Well, delusional, but miseducated though.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're being miseducated and thinking traditional means that she bowed down to me completely. She don't talk back. She does anything.
That's called pimping.
Yeah, she does any and everything I want her to do.
That's pimping.
How high, bend over.
Yeah, that's pimping. Or the Book of Ike. What's love got to do with it? That is not a real man or whatever the deal. That is not.
Yeah, it's like they want a concubine or somebody who just doesn't say anything, but just like Irona, the robot. She just takes directions and she doesn't have a mind of her own. And it's like, no, that's not what it means, because my mom was a traditional mom. She stayed home and she took care of
had modern concept.
Huh?
But she had modern concepts.
Well, yeah, my mom, shoot. I'm talking about especially when she was with my dad.
Yeah, she evolved with the times.
Yeah, but she had a degree and all of that, but she realized one of the most important jobs was to stay home and take care of the family. And so, but when, like I said, my mom was a traditional mom and she was smart. She, she wasn't where she could. I never saw her and my father together, and she was just like, I can't speak. My mom, I saw them having conversations and stuff like that. And my mom, like I said, was very smart, and she taught us these things like that. But people, when I hear a lot of these men describe a traditional woman, I hear them describing a woman with no soul.
Right.
She's just a hollow shell.
Spirit. Yeah, she has no spirit.
She's just there. To me, you know what I hear? Yeah. When I hear a lot of men describe a traditional woman, I hear blow up doll.
Well, you know what? It's funny that you use that analogy, because it just popped in my head, and it was in a movie. See, you let him just get on top of you like a toilet?
Exactly. That's exactly what I think a lot of these men are envisioning, and that's what I hear being described when I hear men. Not all, but a lot of men talk about a traditional woman. It's like, so you don't want her to have any emotions or opinions or anything other than, how, Maltesa, want me to rub your feet? Oh,
not cold enough.
Yeah.
Go back, whatever. But no, it's funny that you say that, because a lot of my friends, 80% of Black people marry Black people. Okay, so stop all this. Oh, we gonna divest and all. Women, stop it. 80% of Black people marry Black people. Okay, so stop it. So a lot of my friends coming out of the military, these are modern women that are our age, right, Demetria? Right? Yeah. And they're traditional. They went to college, they got an education, they were in the military, they were leading men and women. And they're still married. They've been married for 30, 40 years. Because they evolved with the times and they know their role. And the funny thing is, I had a friend, his wife was an officer and he was enlisted. Okay. Now think about that dynamic. He has to salute her, whatever. Later on, he went and got his commission as well. But she, at the end of the day, when they went home, he was still the man. She wasn't, well, I'm in charge and I'm the, no. She knew what she was supposed to do in regards to her commitment in a marriage. And that's the thing. You got to be able to evolve in the culture.
Right. So absolutely. I mean, she's going to evolve and learn how to do different things, but I hear
he's got to evolve too.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't, be like a caveman and you do what I say, woman. And I mean, first of all,
stop listening to Uncle Otis and stuff talking about how it was in the 60s. And, oh, David Ruffin was a hero of mine. I love the Temptation. They're beating them women and busting them in the head. No, that ain't flying.
And not only that, a lot of those men a lot of the husbands back in the day, and I'm not saying they were perfect, just like a traditional woman is not perfect, but a lot of those men, they made it so that their woman could be traditional. If you think about your mom and your grandma, your aunties,
they were made to be wives.
And they were soft. And they
Feminine,
were
very feminine.
Yes, because they could be that, right? They didn't have to worry about going out and earning money and all of that, because they stayed home and they took care of the household and the husband and all of that. And so they were allowed to rest more in their femininity. I know when I think of my mom and my grandma, I think that. But when I see women nowadays, it's like, y'all want us to be feminine, but we out there with you too. Not saying that we shouldn't be able to work and be feminine, but we out there busting a hustle just like y'all, 10 hours a day.
Yeah, well, let me interrupt right there. You're right. I agree with you. You guys should be able to go out there and work if you want to. But a real man wouldn't want his wife doing that in the aspect of, okay, we understand the economics of today, modern. We know what the deal is today. Do you know what that would make me do, Demetra, as your husband?
What?
It's going to make me go out there and work harder so I can get you out of the workforce as soon as possible.
Right. And
that was honey, you ain't got to work. Just go and open that eBay business or that little side hustle, whatever, because I want you home to educate my kids and do all that. If you want to work, when the kids get a certain age, whatever, yeah, go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? I'm giving you options. But the thing is, to see you working, I'm going to bust my ass so that I can get you out of that workforce.
Right. And so as I was playing with the calculator earlier and stuff like that.
I know, Demetra, there's no hope for you. I know. Just get a dog and die.
But I drew a couple of conclusions because I did a whole bunch of scenarios even before I came on here. One of the conclusions was that, okay, obviously
the barge is not coming. He's not coming. He's not gone.
I mean, obviously, I would have to drop my standards.
Yes.
Okay, that's one. I'd either have to date a married man, or I have to date somebody outside of a black man, or more y'all need to get y'all stuff together.
Exactly. And you know what the sad thing is? Because we have raised two generations. And ladies, I know you aren't listening to anything that I said because of what I said previously. But if you listen to what I'm saying in this conversation, Demetra, have I not been hammering the men? Have I not?
Yes.
Subliminally, I've been doing it.
Well, I mean, even before more overt, you've been doing that.
Yeah. We've raised two generations of men in single family homes, be it mostly led by women. And I'm not blaming you, but how the hell do you expect these children to be men because you and the father fell out and you kept the father away, or whatever, you decided to raise the child on your own, and he's taken on women traits, and some of the women traits is the perception of being taken care of. And I've seen that in a lot of young men where they have a perception that they should be taken care of. If mama ain't doing it, grandmama ain't doing it, they expect their girlfriends to do it. And that's what we've done.
Yeah, and a lot of girlfriends are doing it, And I don't know. It's funny because you say that, because I was watching this, and I'm sure you've seen it. A lot of people have seen it. It was Bill Moyers did a special back in 1986, I think it was, 84.
84.
Right? Yeah, on it was a Newark, New Jersey neighborhood. And he interviewed young girls and women, black young girls and women who had children, all of them out of wedlock. And then when it came on,
none of them wanted to get married. Most of them didn't want to get married.
Yeah, they said, I want to get married. And he says, well, why? Why wouldn't you want a husband to help you? She says, it's hard enough taking care of a child. I couldn't imagine taking care of a man. And, I could do it by myself. I don't need a man. It seems like a lot. And so I was sitting there, because I've seen it plenty of times before, but I'm like,
wow.
It's just, you're already living in despair.
Right. Doesn't it make you get on your knees and thank the Lord that you had the parents that you had? Doesn't it?
Yes. Yes. And,
Yeah,
again,
I'm thankful for my mom every day. That I look back on stuff. Thank God I had the mom that I needed.
yeah. And then it was the guys, they were just kind of hanging around beatboxing,
Yeah,
with
we're all
their,
just rappers.
yeah.
People
They
make it
were,
big.
right. They were, trying to be rappers or just hanging out on the corner with their boom box and beatboxing and
And
all of
these
that.
girls know that these guys were doing that, and yet they still laid down with them.
Well, yeah, and then one girl said, because Bill asked her, he asked her, well, what did you see about him? Basically, because he doesn't work or anything. She says, well, I have a thing for guys with bow legs.
No
It was his
legs.
legs.
You know what? The funny thing is, I had friends in high school that had one of my best buddies, Twan. He was bow-legged, and girls liked him just because he was bow-legged.
Yeah, I mean, it's sexy. It is sexy. But however, okay, I need you to have a little bit of something else to go with them bow legs,
Right.
But she was speaking her honesty in that I wasn't looking for him to do anything else but be cute.
Wait, and you got to remember, these girls are how old? 17, 18 years old. They're young. They're young.
Yeah,
They're
17
young women
to 23 or something like
Yeah.
that.
So they're young women. So their mentality is kind of.
And all of them were living at home with their mom. And then, a few of them said, my mom's kind of, and my grandma kind of, yeah, we're kind of all doing the same thing. And, one girl was like, I'm not going to drop out of school. I'm not going to allow a baby to have me drop out of school. I would like to see like where are they now?
Turned out. Yeah, how she turned out.
I actually did look on Google yesterday for some of them. Some of the guys are dead.
Well, of course, they're in Newark, New Jersey. Jesus Christ.
One of the ladies, her name was Alice. She was the oldest one. She had 23. I mean, she was 23.
3 at a time.
Had 3 kids, and she ended up dying like right after the film was made. She fell or something.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, she left 3 kids, and she was the one that had the 3 kids by the guy who was like, I got ladies everywhere, and I don't work because they give me their welfare checks or part of their welfare checks. So it was kind of like his hustle type of thing.
Yeah, wasn't there a guy that was part of a rap group, and they were doing shows around Newark, and they knew they were going to blow up soon? And
I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, he's dead too. But yeah, his name was Timothy McSpeed or McSeed or something. But yeah, a lot of them aren't, but it's funny that I was watching that yesterday and I was like, surely this is, but then again too, you have to kind of, not saying that it doesn't exist. So please don't mistake me in this. It's produced by white media, so of course they're going to kind of
grain of salt.
Yeah, and they're going to show it in this, the worst light that it is,
right.
To white America.
Some truth to it, though. Is there some truth? Fast forward 40 years, I see the same girls today that we saw in the video back then.
Yeah, and I'm not saying there's not any truth to it at all. Don't mistake me in that. I'm just saying we got to also remember too that as white media putting forth these images, because if you look at, because on this thing that's on YouTube, you can find it on YouTube. It's called The Crisis of the Black Family or something like that with Bill Moyers. But so the commercials were included too. And if you look at some of these commercials, it was all geared toward white America. And so it's like, well, who are they actually putting this on for? Was it to be an educational piece for Black people? Or was it to say, look, white people, this is how horrible it is in the Black community now? That's not all the Black community. That's just some of the Black community. And so
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
What?
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Right. But if I was a naive, I'd be like, oh, so gosh, it's so horrible in the Black community.
They're still doing that today, using the media to frighten folks.
Right. Yeah. But not saying that is not a problem because, it is.
To everything, there's a little truth to it, especially in media. There's a little truth to it.
But the one of the most horrible things that I noticed from that is that behavior was being taught then and is being taught now. You don't need a man,
and only in the Black community.
Yeah, but even though you're on a welfare system, and you're talking about how hard it is because you're still trying to go to school and you're still out of your mouth say, I don't need a man.
Demetra, though, for years, Haven't I been saying that? It's like, it doesn't make sense. You're saying you don't need a man, but you got society paying your bills. You're living in Section 8. You're doing all this stuff. You're out here getting weaves and stuff, but you don't need a man. You don't need our direction and our limits that we try to, control and lead. But yet you need drapes put up. You need a man. You need this done. You need a man. You need your car fixed. You need a man. You know what I mean? All the hard jobs out there that need to be done, you need a man. Civilizations that have been built by men that you're enjoying.
Or how about this factor? Take away public aid or anything else. And it's not all Black women who are single moms who are on aid, so don't mistake me in that. But let's say you took that away from some of the women who are on those things and say, I don't need a man. Would that change?
Yes. And I know that everybody's going to come for me, but remember, I took karate for years in Japan. I am in full support of changing and abolishing the welfare system as it exists right now. I'm not saying we shouldn't have one. I'm just saying we need to get these welfare people to do their jobs like Claudine and do the checks and all that other stuff and make sure they're doing what they need to do. Because before, and here's what's sad. And me and my mom were talking about that, and she was saying how the system was back in the day during Claudine. She said they would give you a checklist and they would, you're supposed to go into this program to get like job skills or whatever. And then in the job skills was you can get a write-off and get money back for if you had to be a secretary, you had to have certain clothes. They would pay you for that. If you did, they would pay you for that. You know what I mean? Oh, you might need something, bus fare. They would pay you for that. Certain things they would give you so that they would wean you off of a welfare. She said somewhere along the line, the welfare worker didn't want to do their job and just said, we're not going to check any of that and just take the check. And these women are just taking that one check, excluding the rest of the payments that they can get.
Well, and it probably too, I don't know what the reasoning was for them getting rid of that. Maybe they thought it was just a little too invasive.
No. They didn't necessarily get rid of it. They just wanted to do all of the stuff that was required to do, to get into the program and to get a job and to get off welfare. They just sat on their asses, and the welfare worker just didn't want to do it. I'm very sure if we look at the welfare system in some programs, there are certain things like, let's say I'm on welfare and I have kids, and they say, well, I don't have the funds to get a suit because I work at a bank. I'm very sure there's a program that I can go, okay, better example, the VA, Voc Rehab. They said, okay, you're going to change your job. You're going to do all these, things to get this job, right? They came up to me, and to me, it was almost parallel to what my mom was talking about. They said, what do you need? I need a computer. Got it. I need paper. Got it. I need a suit. Got it. For the interview. Got it. I had to write everything that I needed down, and they would provide so that I could be successful to go and get another job. I'm very sure that is kind of how the program worked.
Yeah, it's called GAIN. I think it's the GAIN.
Yeah, program. It was like some kind of program, right?
Yeah.
But somewhere along the line, the welfare worker didn't follow up and probably didn't give a damn. Like in Claudine, where they just didn't give a damn, whatever, and just said, "Here, if you're just content to have the check, just have the check." And we just
Claudine also had a job.
Yeah, right.
She did have it, but she had 15,000 kids too.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying about that program where they would give you, if you need certain things, that was part of it to get you off of welfare or off. To be successful.
Right. No, absolutely. So I don't know. We could go on and on forever, but like I said, I saw that last night, and I just thought this is just somewhere we've got to break the cycle of our women thinking that I don't need a man.
You better stay your ass on Sister Code, or they're gonna come for you too. Sister Code, it don't matter. No, it don't matter. Sister is always right. Black women code. You better stay on that woman code.
No, I don't know about all of that.
How dare you tell the folks the game and give them a dose of reality? How dare you?
Well, in closing, with this female delusion calculator, y'all can take what y'all want to take. You take what you want to take from it. It is data and it's numbers, and they say numbers do not lie. So it's really something to think about. I can't think of too many women. I do know a few, but I can't think of too many who are like, oh no, my standards are this, that. Because I will tell you this, the women that I knew when I was younger who had these standards, he had to be 6'1" or this and that, and they ended up settling for the dude that, you know, that's in the mini, you know, eventually. I want to say almost every time they ended up settling for the guy that was in the higher number of probability, right? They did not get that one guy who was, you know, maybe light skinned, tall, rich,
ball player, whatever,
yeah.
you know.
They settle for, you know, regular dude, you know,
regular guy that's going to love them for who they are, and you know they're going to live you know, a decent life, and you know it is what it is. Yeah, you know, it is what it is.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, sometimes you do have to say, well,
it could
let
be
me go and just lower it a little bit.
Could be worse.
And not that lower. Listen, and I want to say this: if y'all made it to the end of this, I'm not saying lowering your standards is bad in regards to a non-quality man. I'm not saying that. I should have said that in the beginning. I'm not saying that he's a lower quality man. It's just to say that you've come down, as Donovan would say, to reality, I guess you would say, where there's more men. And listen, I ain't gonna never be with nobody else's man, so I probably will end up with a cat, and I don't like cats.
I don't know, Demetra, if El DeBarge came and said, hey, you're cute, I want to get your number, let's do some dating, knowing he's got 11 kids, and you know he might, let's say technically he is married, I don't know. I have to question. I have to question you with your fanaticism about Elle.
I would say I like it. No, I'll be like, as fine as you is, baby. Ooh, who's gonna pain me to say this? I just can't do it. All this love cannot be waiting for you until you you know, until you stop loving Donna. Okay?
No, he always got to do is, what can I do to make it feel?
Remove all my doubts.
Yeah, remember at the prom you with your love. That's
yeah.
We thought we
hard bargain.
But anyway, then if you're lucky, you're going to get, who is Johnny?
Right. Okay. So anyway, y'all, it has been a pleasure. Thank y'all so much for being here on the Demetra K Show and podcast. We will see y'all around on Saturday. We weren't here this last Saturday because Donovan had some other things to do, but we will be here Saturday.
I was helping the sister out.
We'll have to talk about that in more detail.
Yes, yes.
So anyway, we are going to get out of here, and we will see y'all later. And always, we have a Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. If you want to donate, become a member of the channel. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel.
And do not forget to pick up the podcast on Spotify, iHeart, Spreaker, Apple Tunes, all that other good stuff that you can find a podcast. So when you're in the traffic, hit Demetra K Show podcast, and it will come up, and start listening to some of the shows.
Yeah. Peace.